How bullish is Bitcoin right now? Is it a good idea to jump into it as a long trader or maybe step back, wait for a pullback? We're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to show you guys my opinion on Bitcoin. What is the best thing to do, in my opinion, based on the current structure we have? And what can we be looking for going forward, right? So before we do get started, though, something new I'm working on for the channel, potentially, I'm still testing it for a couple days now. Since the start of the week, I've been testing a new strategy I'm trying to develop. So far, it's been working out pretty well for so far, halfway through the week, just over 10K profits using margin as well. And I withdrew a little bit, $658, just to have fun with, probably go to a nice restaurant or something. But I don't want to get too much into detail about it because it's not complicated, but it is something I'm trying to develop to see if I do want to stick with it. Probably stick with it for the rest of this month to kind of see if it's something I really want to work with, especially publishing it on the Discord and trying to break it down so everybody can learn it. It's just something that still needs like another 3 weeks to test to see how well it really holds up. But to get started on Bitcoin, guys, and that strategy is another reason to join the Discord. You never know what you're gonna see on there that can be super beneficial. But the thing is, though, we know that Bitcoin, if you guys saw last video, if not, you can jump into it. I broke down the bigger structure. I compared it to something in 2024, which I will compare it again because it's very relevant right now. The thing is, right, we had a 3 deep value wave dips right below 80K. Super deep value, amazing to take advantage of. And I kept saying, like, every time we go below 80K, it's a really, really great time to accumulate and hold on to some Bitcoin. But we are now much higher, and we are seeing this sort of like uptrend, and then we see consolidation sideways, and then another uptrend, consolidation sideways, and now we're starting another uptrend. So I can go ahead and move up our retracement areas to match the new structure we have right here. So I'm still looking for a reasonable correction because, again, I say this a lot. The last time we had a reasonable correction was back here, where we did see the retracement at that point get filled properly. Then we went up to the next extension area before we consolidated. And then now we're much higher, next extension area, consolidation. And now we're moving up to our final extension area before we see a reasonable correction. I kept saying I wouldn't be surprised if we try to reach the median area for a really nice potential top in this structure, not top for Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will go much higher. But the thing is, when it comes to the current structure and the current fluctuations, I said I wouldn't be surprised if we do one more higher up before we come down into this retracement. As you guys can see, we do have enough momentum to reach the 1.2236 extension at just about 97.5K. So we do have enough positive volume to reach this area. So I wouldn't be surprised if we break into it a little bit more. And then we can really, really start seeing at, stepping back and potentially shorting or just waiting for the retracement to do its thing before taking any new long positions, right? No matter how much hype there is in Bitcoin around, no matter how much hype, the price has to fluctuate and balance itself out eventually, right? We haven't seen a proper retracement in a while, so we got to keep this in check. I wouldn't be surprised if soon Bitcoin does have a reasonable dip below 90K, potentially, right? Below 90K, try to reach this red area to fill in these imbalances as well properly before pushing up higher, well over 100K. But we still have a bit more upside. Even we can even reach the top of this area. It's very much likely. So I wouldn't be overly, optimistic on taking shorts right now because we still have a little bit more headroom to for the price to go up a little bit more. But let's compare this to a trend back in 2024 when we had 3 deep value dips, just like we've seen recently with Bitcoin. So 3 deep value dips in 2024. Then we had this moment of, I'm going to show you guys right now, this moment of continuation of an uptrend, right? Where we finally broke past previous resistances. So we go up, we consolidate, and we continue to go up. We're in this consolidation phase right now, which is similar to this right here, where we're seeing this phase. We push up higher into the next extension area, and then we find a top, come down, have a proper retracement, and as you guys can see, if I can show you guys right now, this retracement from the low right here all the way to the top was a proper retracement, just about to the 0.5 retracement line at 59, just basically 60K before we finally start, consolidating. Strength builds up, and then we go up even higher, and we make, reasonable, very reasonable highs, right? So the way this kind of influences, or just influences my opinion right now, is we have 3 deep value dips. We have a continuation of an uptrend, which is breaking previous resistances very easily, as you guys can see. Now we have that consolidation phase in the one more pump up before we see a potential top, and then comes down and potentially gets close to this 0.5 retracement line around 86K. I believe it might be a little bit higher, but the 85 to 87K will be a really reasonable area. You can even say 88K. But besides that, it's all below 90K. So I would really like to see the price come down, and we can have some really, really strong buying opportunities within this red. The thing is, though, we are still forming that last leg up before we see the retracement that will eventually push us much, much higher, well over 100K, and sustainably hold over 100K. But again, guys, even though we have a lot of upside to go, we got to remember that we have a little bit more upside, a proper retracement. This retracement can wipe out a lot of longs. So it's very important to be cautious on how your position sizing, because once this retracement does happen, which is very, very possible, most possible in my opinion, before we go up higher, you don't want to be, taking any losses on something that is obviously overextended in the short term, and we haven't seen a proper retracement. So again, guys, just, it's very important to be patient. Small longs to take advantage of any more potential upside. Have a tight stop loss, probably, in my opinion, 93K or just under 93K, in case we do break below this little support line right here. As you guys can see, it acted as support right here. So if we break below that, there's a good chance we're going to start coming down and try to fill in these support areas down here. So pretty good stop loss for longs, in my opinion. You can even go a little bit higher, say right here around 95K if you want to be more conservative. But again, guys, small positions to take advantage of any more upside, and it won't hurt you if it starts to fall. And then when it does start to fall, very important to understand where we can potentially be looking at strong buying opportunities, guys. It's very, very, very important, no matter how much hype, to manage your position sizing for what is an anticipated, in my opinion, a very reasonable anticipation of a proper correction before we start moving up higher. So yeah, hopefully this video made sense, guys, and I will catch you guys on the next one.